This got missed last time, and I hate that it got missed. So Drecissa took you up towards Talasantri. And as you guys get there, let's see. You see a hemisphere of lattice coral rises in one giant half dome above the seafloor. The coral dome seems partly natural and partly structured. In places there are holes large enough to swim through, though razor-sharp coral ridges with gnarled spikes line the ingresses of those areas. In other places there are tangled nests of coral that block the view within the city. The only real light down here, because again, you're at the bottom of the sea, the only real light there is from phosphorescent jellyfish that drift within the dome. They radiate their pale glow in the luminescent bubbles, first in teal, then in pink, then in yellow. The dome stretches hundreds of feet across, and the large waters around it obscure even the glow of the jellyfish in some places beyond a few dozen feet away. You guys argued. She led you up to the gate, and there were two sea elves there in more battered armor. Looked like it's worn, pitted with age and battle. And there was a young sea elf that came out in what looked to be brand new, pristine armor. That was Argnos. And he basically said, halt, what are you guys doing here? No one's allowed within, especially not surface dwellers. And literally, Drecissa dressed him down. She said, the surfacers saved my life. And he doesn't look impressed. Almost like there's an anonymity between the two, between those two. And she goes, go get the captain, Argnos. I will explain it to him. And he goes, Drecissa, this is not the time. I'm trying to do my job here. And she goes, go get a real guard who can assess whether these are allowed to come in with me or not. And what happens is she embarrasses him, as does the captain that comes out. He said he welcomes you to the city, thanks you for saving Drecissa, and yeah, that's how that went down. So in some ways you guys did good. I mean, the other guards were chuckling behind Argnos, which tells you he's probably not going to be friendly to you guys later on. Not happy with being dressed down by Drecissa. And so you guys enter the city, and that's about as far as you guys got. Just telling you, in coming into the city, the streets are very disorienting. In fact, being underwater is disorienting to everybody but Markale. The streets go up. The coral streets start at the bottom and can go up and wind into the coral. So there are buildings going up the walls and in the air inside. It is a very unique looking city. Most of it has living coral around it that line the area, as well as stone buildings that were carved from seafloor stone, mostly volcanic type stone. It does have coral and other type of anemone growing off of it. It's not something you guys are used to seeing. And it's very confusing. And it's almost like in shadows. Now, I realize you have dark vision, as do some others. You can see the people moving around, but even at the distances, it's difficult sometimes to make out what they are. And that's where we left off the last time. So I hope that helps a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, I know. I wish my voice had been available. It would have made it so much clearer. But, the technical difficulties I have with this mic sometimes and this computer. It's a gaming computer. You'd figure, yeah, there's no way. Yeah, with me, I can break anything. I promise. So yeah, you'll have time probably here to get to be what you need to be. The evangelist is an easy thing. Deific obedience you don't have to train in as a feat. It's just something that's part of you.
Yeah, reading back over Deific Obedience, I'm going to have to wait one level to do it because I have to get one more rank in Knowledge Religion. So I think what I'm going to do is
That's
Cleric
fine.
for one more level, and then I'll
Okay.
take that next level, which is also fine.
That's fine. It'll make it interesting, that's for sure.
Absolutely. It gives me, basically, second level in Cleric is going to get me one extra level 0 spell and then one extra level 1 spell.
Now, the thing is, and I believe Fantasy Grounds is set up this way too. I think it only allows 3. So multi-class, which makes sense. Multi-class allows up to 3 class choices. So you'll have Inquisitor, you'll have Cleric. Now, what I will say is if you decide to drop the Inquisitor side for whatever reason, because you were an Inquisitor of a different deity.
Yes.
You can convert those to Cleric if you prefer.
Oh. 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 That is a much harder choice to make. Oh.
You lose some great perks from the Inquisitor, but again, you're no longer her Inquisitor.
Yeah.
Milani, you start out with Milani, and as you convert it over, normally those go into, what do they say, with an ex-Inquisitor, I believe they allow you either the Fighter or the Cleric, and I think Cleric would make sense for what you're doing.
Sure.
So what you just would have to go do is cut out your Inquisitor abilities that are on there, and then move the Cleric ones. So I would take out your Inquisitor levels, and then move in the Cleric levels on her. And it'll automatically do some things, and then you'll just have to go cut out any abilities that weren't removed by deleting that. It'll leave your skills, I believe, the same. And I won't change those. Even if it's a a non-skilled class or non-trained class or non-trained skill, then that's fine. I won't take away necessarily that from you. But you do lose, if you do lose the Inquisitor, you do lose those abilities. And remember, her favorite weapon is a dagger.
Yes.
So, you have to find some nasty daggers, or make some. But again, you are an aquatic city under the ocean, and this is a city. This is not a little town, a little, village or encampment. This is a friggin' city. And probably the only major city within the area.
So this says ex-inquisitors inquisitor who becomes an ex-inquisitor can, with the GM's permission, take the heretic archetype, replacing her class abilities with the appropriate archetype abilities.
If you want to, that's an option.
Well, no, but I'm not seeing anything about changing levels. Or is that a GM?
That's more of a GM's thing, because here's my thought to you. It's having those Inquisitor levels, even at a heretic, is kind of useless to you in some ways. I mean, it does nothing for you.
Yep.
Whereas if you convert them, because again, what are Inquisitors? They're clerics that are martial focused, that are going out dealing things in.
Yep.
And that way then you can focus a little more on the healing and those type of things. And then when you get to the Evangelist, it almost takes the place of what would have been the Inquisitor and gives you some abilities there that you wouldn't have had. Because again, you don't have to always be the fighter. I mean, clerics are tougher than most.
Oh, yeah.
But again, you guys got a few of that. You got Chunk in there. You've got Syl, and those are really your two major martial focus. And you guys really do need the healing. And you can
technically, technically Shara is as well, just at a range, but still a
Yeah.
physical damage dealer.
So you got 3 of them in there.
Yep.
You guys really are lacking a cleric. And God forbid you're lacking the ability to resurrect later if somebody
Yeah.
goes down. And
Okay, I would love Rick.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to change those or convert those to cleric levels.
Okay. Then we'll go ahead and do that. I mean, it depends. If you want me to do it, I can convert them over and remove the Inquisitor things.
Go ahead and
All right.
convert them over and
So,
remove the Inquisitor things, and
all
then I have a lot of spells to pick from.
I know.
I have to redo all of that, and I am totally okay with that.
All right, so I'm going to pull over your cleric. So for right now, you're going to freak because you go, oh, where did it all go? But don't worry, it's coming back.
I'm good. You're good. I'm not. I am chill right now.
All right, so cleric.
This is quite literally what I had hoped I'd be able to do at some point. Like I was kind of doing it forcefully my own way by just changing, by adding new cleric levels, but switching those levels to cleric, I'm still going to take the 7th level.
Mm-hmm.
But that better spell options is not the worst thing in the world.
No. And what I'll have to do is go back to the spell options that are the Inquisitor ones and just get rid of those out of the actions. There's the Inquisitor, so I'm going to get rid of this one. So you'll freak for a second, but then you got your other spells are all available. So you just have to go in and pull your spells over that you want at the right levels. So there's your cleric. Let's see, how many skills would you get? What's the normal cleric's skills per level? You get 2 skill ranks per level plus your wisdom. So what's your wisdom modifier?
0, I believe, maybe +1.
Okay, so we'll go back underneath that. So main, yeah, okay, so you'll get 3, so those should be 18 points there that you should have for skills. So all right, you got 18 and you've used 2, 5, 7, 8
as part of this, Rick.
But I will leave them, even though that's there. I'm going to give you, I'm going to be really interesting with this. I'm going to give you the 30 points for skill ranks. Now, normally you're not going to get that.
Sure,
but because
no,
you
absolutely.
Had others, let's see, 3.
I was going to say, as part of this kind of transition that's beginning to happen, I think it makes a lot of sense for her to also change alignment steps by a half.
Yep, that's fine.
I'm thinking like neutral good. She's still going to kind of have that good tendency, but she's moving away from that kind of lawful perspective of everything has to have a reason and an order to it, to more of, there's some benefit to the chaos of, things and that sort of thing. And so the character development side of it that I'm seeing is that she's starting to begin to change her perspective on things. She's finally getting out in the world versus kind of being cloistered, in that area where she was cloistered for so long with the, with the clerics and priests and priestesses of her, of Milani, that essentially the temple that she was raised in. This is her getting out in the world and really finding her own way. And it's thank you for this character development, Rick. It's working so
I figured you like it.
I'm enjoying the character development side of this for sure.
All right, so your feat, if you want to change the branded for retribution, that's up to you. You don't have to.
I will probably change that feat, yes.
Now, is the undead sense part of the Inquisitor or not?
It is part of the Inquisitor, yes. Wait, let me double check.
Double check before I
am pretty sure it is, but I will double check.
Track I'll get rid of.
That might be part of Kinslayer, actually. So undead sense is not part of Inquisitor, Kinslayer.
I will leave you the undead sense. And again, these are my decisions.
Yeah, that's a Kinslayer ability.
That's fine. I will leave that there. I'll leave that and Gentle Rest with you as two that you kept.
Okay.
Because, whatever, Pharasma liked them with you. And the Aura one. So those I'll keep with you. Aura, Undead Sense, and Gentle Rest. The rest are the ones coming in from the Cleric. Which Cleric, you have the Channel Energy. You should be, 3d6. Perfect. That's going to be fun for you.
Oh, yeah.
Let me look here something. Isn't there a deal? And this is up to you. Again, you're under Pharasma now.
Sure.
Isn't there a deal under a damn fear where you can have the ability to accept positive energy? I thought there was one under the damn fear as a damn fear. I thought there was. There it is. Where is it? There you go. Advanced races. This is where it'll say it. Those are the normal ones. Traits. Alright. Negative energy affinity. I thought there was one under them.
Nope, there is not. I'm looking at it
All
right
right,
now.
no problem. So then you'll have to take
traits.
You'll have to take a mix of negative energy. Now you can choose which type of energy. Now, again, you're channeling energy. I would say, to go along with your thing, that channeling negative energy is going to be your normal way of doing things. Mm-hmm. Not that you're trying to create undead, you're just damaging. That's all you're doing. Yeah. You're more offensive with your channel ability. Unless you take a channel, which there is, I think, a channel feat under clerics that you can take that allows you to spin between the two, I believe. Let me look at this. Pathfinder channel feats.
Yeah, I was pulling up the same thing.
Because that's what I think there is. Yeah, channeling feats. Good. Alignment channel. Okay, so that's an interesting one. Alignment channel. Channel can heal or harm outsiders. So, you could heal Syl with a negative energy channel. Or a channel of the opposite of your normal alignment. Blazing channel. Ooh, that'd be one for you. That's one that I think I would take. Because you have turn undead. You can, if you choose to do positive energy, you can't heal yourself. It won't necessarily harm you. Pharasma's not here to try to harm you. She knows what you were and what you are. You could channel blazing channel. Undead that fail their saving throw versus your turn catch on divine fire. Like a divine damage from a flame strike rather than fire. Do I have blazing channel in there? Let me look under feats. That would be an awesome one for you. Because again, it will allow you offensive ability. Nope, blazing channel is not in there, so I will put it in there. Give me a sec here. And then I'll save it to the one. All right.
Hey,
hello. We're revamping Aurora a little.
That's not a little, Rick. That's pretty significant.
All right, we're doing a significant change. But, it kind of goes with the story, and it goes with what happened to her. Becoming a Pharasma.
And, she really needs it.
Yeah.
Ouch,
Mark just is such a friend when it comes to that.
Boy,
Yeah. No, you aren't.
When you hit level 8, Mark, I hope you're ready to go on your own. I'm just kidding.
I did pretty good this time.
You did.
He did.
And I will say this, Mark, you've learned a lot.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed at how much you've started to pick up on the subsequent kind of little nuances of Pathfinder and be able to speak to them pretty eloquently, actually.
It's a thing.
It's a gift.
It is.
Well, or a curse.
Or a curse. All right.
Yeah. Fantasy Ground. That's what I was looking for. This is the other thing, is that I can't remember anything, which is why I have to write notes. And if it's not in a
It's
note,
okay.
it never happened.
All right. So, Blazing Channel is in there if you want it. Now, let's see if there's any others. Channel
I strongly
Discord.
suspect that it's also in there, even if you don't want it.
Ooh. Oh, this is another one. Channel Hate. As
I saw that one.
as a standard action. Okay, you have to have a deity of hatred and spite. That's not Pharasma.
Nope.
Well, I can act as your surrogate deity of hate if you wish.
Ooh, that's a nice one. Channel Smite. That's another one that's kind of interesting. Channel Spite. Let's see. Yep, they do have it in there. Channel Smite's in there. Channel Blessing. Nah, that's not that. Command Undead. Conversion Channel. Fateful Channel. Forceful Channel. Protective Channel. That's interesting.
Oh, wow. I immediately got a console script error.
Yeah, that's something that's added because I got it for the first time too, and there's all sorts of them, and it's all based on just the various.
Yeah.
I think they added I think they have the console pop up now, so that because they're having enough people reporting it, that they want to at least be able to track all of the errors and things like that. Because there's
Yeah.
Here comes the shopping list.
and this is all just thumbnail issues is what this particular one is.
Well, one thing they're doing, and if you go under what they did, and I can send you guys that from being a backer of the new one. They've done some significant things. I don't know if they got all the things fixed, but they are trying to do significant things. And you're seeing much more material coming up. Like I've got the GM's guide now up and loaded in here. They're putting out much more material, which is good in my mind.
Yep.
Because they're going to need to, even with Pathfinder 2. Pathfinder 2, I don't know if you guys saw, is adding 6 more classes. One of them's my Inquisitor, which I'm like, yay.
Nice.
They're getting it. The Swashbuckler, the Inquisitor, the Witch. So they're putting some in. I'm going, thank you guys. These had to come. And I love what they did with the races. If you go to the Age of Lost Omens character reference book, oh my gosh, they finally did it. The artwork. So now, if you want a mocha-skinned halfling, they have it, and they have what the off-race of it's called. If you want one that looks Asian, they have one of those. You want an Asian elf, they have those. They literally did what everybody's been asking. Quit making everything look European. And they did. And it's amazing. So now the artwork they include there was all the stuff they didn't put in 1E. So even for the TNs, they give you an example for every TN race that's on that continent. I'm like, wow, guys. Where did this come from? And thank you. Because we've been asking for it. You know, you're going to have all these things. Okay, so if I told you you're a TN Detang, you would have no clue what you look like. You're like, what?
Don't talk to me that way.
Yeah.
You can't talk to me that way.
Exactly. Exactly. So, yes, and yes, you are hearing the Incredibles in the background. You are not losing your mind.
Oh, well, I'm losing my mind, all right. But I might also be hearing
Rick, I'm not going to take any channel feats.
Okay, that's fine. You don't have to. It's just there are ones there that are available. And so,
all right.
yeah,
so
I mean,
I've got the...
Craft Job or... Okay, you were saying, Mark?
I'm sorry. I've got the classes window open, and again, there's 2 barbarians. There's Pathfinder Core, and there's PFRPG Basic.
All right, so
I
Barbarian.
can never remember which one I drag in.
It'll be the Pathfinder core rulebook. That's where the base one is. The other one is one that I had made a copy of, the Barbarian, and was going to turn it into a prestige class, and I didn't on that one. I had one too many.
I can drag that into any panel on the character sheet, correct?
No, you want to go to the main panel, and then open
I put it in the class and level mini dialogue.
You got
Cool.
it. That's exactly where it goes.
All right, I'm gonna put that there.
It's awesome. We'll have. God, everybody's.
Yeah, and I did my like we talked about last time. I did my hit points manual. Whoa! I just got kicked.
Well, that's not fun. Why is that?
The irony is I didn't get kicked.
Yeah, I know.
It's just because I was bad mouthing you earlier, so that
Exactly. Karma.
Yeah, that just comes back and smacks you upside the head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a pretty decent roll on my hit points too, so I'll be sporting 72 through this level.
Nice. Now you become Chunk the rolling ball of death.
Yeah, it's just like, go ahead and hit me. Go ahead. Hit me.
Hello.
Hello.
Why are you so quiet?
Quit trying to hit me and hit me.
I have a new microphone, so I'm making sure it actually.
Oh,
works.
it works.
It sounds
fine.
great. Crystal clear.
Yeah, a coworker of mine had a blue snowball mic.
Yep.
Ooh.
And he left it at work when he changed jobs, and I was like, "Hey, bro, you left this really awesome mic." He's like, "Oh, you can have it." I'm like, "What?"
It's like,
Yeah.
that's $100 microphone.
Take it.
5-finger discount.
It's like the Blue Yeti.
Yeah, it's a step below,
like,
but it's still that's great podcasting material.
And she
I'm
does.
halfway. He's like some kind of genie.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Just there to help you out. All right, let's see. I got to open up the map of now Talasantri, since you guys are in Talasantri.
All right, let's see if I can crash it again. Maybe it took it this time. All right, now where do I adjust my hit points? There it is. It's actually not too bad. Right now it shows 70, so I only did slightly better.
Hey, you're doing. You guys are doing awesome. So I'm there with it. All right, I'm gonna put just one marker. So
Here it goes. It's gonna crash.
Hey, Dad, it's Edna mode.
Edna mode.
Edna mode.
I love her. And friends. Or and friend. Edna is one of the best parts of the whole thing.
Accidental character too. If you ever watched the making of.
Yeah, I'm glad they put her in.
Indeed.
Oh, she was accidental?
Well, the voice is one of the producers, and they were supposed to get another voice talent, and they liked his performance so much that they kept.
Oh, that's awesome. It's really quite perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It's 100% straight up. Yeah.
Let's see, we've got Felix. That's what I'm thinking. Then Chunk. So I'm gonna kind of move all you guys out there in the little reef area. And they're gonna look so teeny tiny. Teeny.
That's just me on a regular day. That's just Tuesday.
Oh, it's all good. And then let's see, who am I missing? We're missing. Oh, that's right. Shara. And then with Shara is Lyra.
So many spells.
You know what I have to say? I really like this new layout.
I'm glad. Things are... They have done some things with it. And I think it's stuff they're incorporating from the new one. I don't know if they're going to make it an easy transition over. We'll see. I never know whether to trust them there or not.
And never count on it. If it comes, great. If it doesn't, oh well.
Yep. Boy, hopefully I won't be coughing at all today.
Oh, had a little bit of a cold.
I got tonsillitis. Lovely stuff. I had a swollen tonsil. It started out as a cold on Monday, Tuesday. I thought I got from Munchkie. Went in Friday. She goes, "Oh yeah, that's a pretty swollen right tonsil." I'm like, great. That's what I wanted. So now I'm taking antibiotics. Lots of antibiotics. But at least I can talk. Swallowing doesn't hurt now. So there are some benefits. Uh-oh, do I hear Shara? Is Shara's there?
Oh, nice. No, Shara has not joined yet.
I had to share my oversized D12 that I use for rolling it.
Nice. All right. So those that are here, let's see. Sharing. And then I can do, where is the one? I got to get the other one for who you're following. Drecissa.
Oh, yeah, Drecissa.
Yes.
Drecissa. That redhead. Got to go with the redhead. So,
Yep.
You know.
Well, what's funny is just the fact that she dressed down Argnos. Argnos was... There's Argnos, and then we'll just put a couple sea elves there, because you're just going in. Sea elf. Or aquatic elf. Let's just do aquatic. There we go.
Oh, boy.
So those are the other two standing with him when the captain came out. Oh, that was... Well, and what's funny is, from what Sean told me and listening back through the video, you guys have come up perfectly well. You can't hear a single thing I said. So it's a whole session based on you guys with no GM. You have to guess what the GM's saying.
It's like listening to one side of a telephone conversation.
It really, really is. And there are times I'm like, what happened?
There was a lot.
It's like, I envisioned it. It's like talking to Pharasma, and Pharasma's only giving you one part of, like describing what happened. And she's like, but I'm not going to talk about what the gods actually decided happened. I'm only going to tell you what they said. And it's like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so confused.
Well, and what's funnier is, they met. So you missed a whole conversation with the Cyclops that Markale had.
Yeah, well, I heard Markale's part of it, at least portions of it.
Oh, she did epic.
It was fantastic, but it was very confusing. It was like, okay, what is she responding to? Like, it was pretty funny.
It's the cannibal Cyclops that they figured out.
Morning, Max.
Good morning.
There he is. Yay. No migraine this week?
Earlier this week, but not today.
Good.
Hey.
Good. Yeah, because that's not fun.
No, I know you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, and what's worse with this, my tonsil pain was on a migraine level. I mean, honest to God, it was a 9 at night.
Ugh.
So here I am trying to go to bed. And you know how it happens. Your mouth goes open when you're breathing and going to sleep.
Yep.
And that cooler air hits it. Oh. Best way I could describe it is it was somebody taking an ice pick and hammering it into my ear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, please kill me now.
Oh, yeah.
So I was taking her dad gave us some of his 800 milligram ibuprofen, Oh yeah. That was my friend. I even told the doctor that when I went in. She's like, wow, your readings are so good and your blood sugar and your A1C. And I said, yeah, but then again, I've been taking 800 milligrams of Ibu. She goes, I don't blame you. She says,
It's because I'm stoned on it.
and I hate pain medicine. I normally do, but I'm like, oh God, I won't sleep. And I didn't. Even last night, I had such weird hallucinatory dreams. I dreamed.
This sounds like fun.
Oh yeah, I dreamed that
They're not though. They're not. That's the thing. It's just like
Kim and I were
like
weird, and you wake up and you slept like 10 hours. And
Yeah.
You're still tired.
Yeah.
Groggy, and
yeah.
your head feels like a brick. It's just awful.
Yeah.
Because I've had to do that sometimes with my migraines. They'll put me on like the super strong pain relievers, and it's like it's better than not sleeping.
True.
But it still sucks.
The one I remember the most was Kim and I were in a Jeep. We're much younger. Okay, so for whatever reason, near each other's age and 30s, and we're driving around in what was left of LA after the water came in and sank a good half of it, and we're scavenging. And these people in like these robot Gundam suits are trying to destroy us as we're scavenging. Us and a few others. They're sitting there and we're behind a wall. They're just shooting these high speed bullets through there. And I'm going, oh God, we're going to die. It just got... And then we went into a convention center and they're chasing us through the... I'm just like, okay, I'm done. I'm really done with this right now. Yeah. Just let me sleep, please. That was those kind of dreams.
How many negative hit points does it equate to just good solid sleep?
Oh, let's put it this way. If you had 80 hit points, you'd be at 8 in the morning. That's about what you're feeling like. Yeah. But, you know, I got going today, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can function, and function pretty good. And it hasn't been hurting, so it's like, okay, that's good. My tonsils aren't hurting.
Hey, Rick.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at my combat tab, and I'm thinking some of these calculations.
Yeah.
Off. I mean, I'm not going to argue with a 15 will save, but
I'm
pretty sure I'm not supposed to have a plus 15 will save at level 7.
All right, here's a quick thing. We gotta go. I know it doesn't calculate out your babs and everything when it subtracts them out. So
it does not. I mean, I'm happy to keep the plus 10 base attack bonus.
Right.
But somehow I'm thinking that's a little bit outside what
let's go back, and I've got my cleric tables here. It's really easy. I can make the adjustments.
I'm looking at this going, wow.
What we're doing, for anybody that wants to know, since Aurora, she, switched to Pharasma, again, she was an Inquisitor of Milani. Well, Milani ain't going to give her all those nice abilities. So, you're going to hate this in about 5 seconds. There's your base attack bonuses, plus your things there. Oh, you're going to hate this soon.
I'm not going to hate it. I know what it should be, so it's not going to be that big of a deal.
Okay, so it's 5, 2, 5. So 5, 2, 5. All right, there we go. Now you should be reflecting where you should be. Take a look, make sure.
Yep. That looks more accurate.
That's all I have to do. So if ever your babs are off or anything, just let me know and you'll figure it out. Hey, we have Shara. Good morning, Akeisha. So, yeah, if the rest of you guys didn't get it, she got basically a peck from Lyra because she's happy to be with her and not being brainwashed and flesh warped by, an aboleth.
Hey, Rick, I did add that extra level in Cleric for 7th level because I'm still going to have to do that regardless. So,
okay.
Can you bump that Bab up 1 point?
Oh, yeah.
Everything else should be the same.
Yep. Give me a sec. Here. All right, the Bab goes up. Let's see.
Oh, I forgot the feet. That's what I didn't do.
Yeah, don't forget your extra, because you get some from the feet table outside of it. I know, they make it kind of disjointed that way. So you got to keep an eye on both.
Oh, yeah. No.
And then if you're a human, it gives you other things. So you got to kind of keep all those in mind. You're not in this case human, but you know. All right, there you go.
All right, so where that goes in skills? No, it
In
goes in ability.
yes.
There we go. All right.
So the cool thing is now you got a 7th level. Yes, is it?
Yeah.
Aw.
You got a 7th level cleric with you instead of an inquisitor, which the 7th level cleric is pretty darn good and needed. You finally
How
have
many experience does it take to go to 7?
to 7th. Hang on, let me tell you. I can go right back to that table. It's nice having
53,000.
yes, 53.
53,000?
Yeah, and your next level will be 77.
Okay, because I'm way short of that. How is that?
Because
Your
remember,
calculations
Yeah,
are
you
wrong.
missed a couple of
Yeah.
sessions or something.
go with one of the other ones, and then let's see what is yours, Chunk?
55516.
So make yours 5, 6 something, Max, because you got some extra little things added in. I'm not worried. I mean, you know.
Yeah, we should be tracking pretty darn close, you and I. I think you'll have a few extra little, hey, you did that great.
And then addressed to you, you
bonuses.
got my note on the extra, and you were able to add that in as well. Are you there, addressed to you?
Oh no, she stepped away.
No,
she's
she's-
making
Oh, he stepped away and make food.
She's loading up the crock pot.
So, and if we make it easy, let's type in here on the fantasy ground. That way, if your characters are saying, so, Akeisha, if you need me on anything, do that, because I know me, I'll try to switch between to the other one, Ruins of Azlant on Discord, and I'll totally mess something up. You like chocolate milk? Oh my god. All right. There we go. Okay, let me see where you guys are headed, because this is important. Alright, so that's going to be 2. Let's see. B. Okay, so you're going to go down here. Ooh, this is going to be fun. Get down over this. Why is this not there? Okay, so that's just got that in the background. I'm going to bring up the image again. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to have to use this one. For some reason, it put it as the background, and I'm going to say X out of it. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that. Sorry, I'm going to have to put the tokens back out again.
Not acceptable.
There you are. Okay. Yeah, give me heck. Okay. So,
I'm blaming it on the chocolate milk.
basically, Drecissa turns to Argnos and says, "Bye, newbie," and starts going through the door and waves at all of you to follow her.
We should follow her.
All right, let's put Markale up there, yeah. Because it won't matter if, you know, in a city what order you guys are going to be in.
Up until all the aquatic elves decide to attack us.
Yeah.
In which case it still won't matter.
Then it won't matter anyways. Then you'll all be dead, you know.
Pretty much.
Dead and gone. All right.
Those 3 Shahagan fish were mean buggers.
She says, well, I appreciate everything you did, and I want you to come with me to our home. That way my mother can properly reward you for saving my life.
Sounds good.
Depends on what everybody thinks.
Yeah, well, she's the fish in charge, or the elf in charge, as it were.
Mm-hmm. All right. So she takes you in that way and leads you down the street, and she's going very quickly. You're able to keep up with her because she's not swimming necessarily. She would be swimming almost at a walk rate. In here in the city, I'm not going to make you guys do your swim rolls. Not unless you're in a combat situation. If you're in a combat situation, then yes, I will force the swim rolls on you. Let's see, there by her. And then Starless is there. And then that one's there. Okay. So you guys are going down, and as you guys can see, this slants from the base ground, and you guys are moving upward. The top of, basically, what you see is the center of that dome. That is, oh, sorry. Let's do that so you have the map. There you go. So you started out where those three little counters are on the outside in the north, basically the far top left corner. Okay. You've made your way in, and the red stuff is major coral growth. This is very significant, thick, dense coral that separates. It's almost like a wall or boundary that would take a lot of force to break through. Okay. And these streets themselves are kind of a weird... To call them streets would be incorrect. They're throughways. Floating around you are jellyfish lanterns. So basically luminescent jellyfish. They light things, and it gives you just enough glow to be twilight in the in the outside air-breathing world. Those of you that have dark vision can see very clearly around you. No problem. Those of you that have low light vision, not a problem. Those that don't have that, always good to maybe do a light spell of some sort, or a small light spell, which Gregorio has done at the back. He is kind of keeping up a very small... He's cast his light spell on a hooded lantern, and is basically kind of keeping it focused, but not enough that it would blind any of you. You can see all kinds of creatures floating past you on the different throughways. Connected and dropped. Okay, we'll try it again. All right. Let's do that.
Eating it purdy.
Yeah. So you can see there are merfolk in this city. There are weird-looking merfolk in this city. Not as many of them. You can see creatures with human bodies, basically Ursula-like creatures from The Little Mermaid, floating around. Not as many of those. There are the Locatha that you can recognize. Now, some of them are familiar coloration to the ones you've already met. Some have other colors.
Good.
And then there are, let's see, you see very few of these, but they're around. Centaurs with the body of a hippocampus at the bottom and the top of a humanoid floating around through the city. Let's see. Most of the dwellings here easily rise above 10 feet. You're moving up and through the coral. It's almost like tunnels that you can see. Now, where it's open in these areas you guys are, it goes up about 30 feet in height that you guys can see. Carved out. There are lots of dwellings made out of the rock and the coral. There are tropical flowers, seashells, carvings on different buildings. It's a very picturesque city. Everybody that you pass before were animatedly talking, and then go silent looking at you as you go past.
It's me. Sorry, I didn't bathe.
Yeah, they still look
I'm a barbarian. I never do.
They still look at you. And when you say that, you can hear them very clearly. Yours comes out more muffled. So where you could probably easily hear their conversation 40 feet, 50 feet away, they would have to be within 10, 15 feet of you to hear yours. Just because all of you, with the exception of Mark Hale, are not used to breathing and talking underwater. Now, Drecissa is basically trying to point out things as she goes by. Let's see what she'll point out to you as she goes by. This she is excited to have you here. She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, we passed the Cerulean Cove back here," and I'll put an X by it. She goes, "This building, hang on here, that one right here that I'm kind of doing the marking over. I don't know if you'll see it real easily. That's the Cerulean Cove." She goes, "The Cerulean Cove is a very neat place, honestly, to go." And she starts explaining that the Cerulean Cove, hang on here, what district do you guys come in? It's a members-only place. She goes, "My family goes there a lot, my dad and my brother, and they drink there. They can have really nice drinks and relaxing type of area. So maybe it's somewhere I'll see if they can take you at some point." Oh, she goes, oh, and up here, where I'm putting the 2, she goes, "That's the city hall up there," pointing at the big building that seems to be separate by itself, raised well above. Yeah, makes it a big difference, doesn't it, having the dark vision.
What are we doing?
Oh, you guys are going through the city itself.
We're getting the guided
Talasantri.
tour toward the center of Talasantri.
Yes. And then, let's see, she takes you fully up this way as she keeps going. And you guys are moving at a not too fast pace, but a decent pace. It's taking you guys have easily...
Mark Hale is absolutely showing off.
Wait.
Moving as elegantly and as naturally and as attractively as possible.
Well, I will say this. Of anyone in the party, you get the waves. There's some children, some young aquatic elves and merfolk children that wave at you. It's timid because you're among surfacers. But
Fuck that. I am absolutely a beauty queen then. Like, wrist, elbow, wrist. Like, I'm on a parade float in my mind. This is what you have done.
This place, she points out, right here, I'm putting the 4. Look for the 4. That's Stargrass Hall. She stops for a minute and points down to it. She goes, oh, that is one of the neatest places to go. She goes, this right here, the theater companies bring in all the newest productions. It is the place to go. And it looks like you can see from the distance, it looks maybe like a neat building, but it's far. Those of you with dark vision can see there's some sort of flowers on it, delicately put on it, that are maybe living flowers. And she goes, if you get time, and if you aren't otherwise on a mission, maybe we can take you there to be recognized by the queen. I don't know about that queen, but this one she's talking with right now is definitely of upper class. Drecissa is nothing like she looks out there as a druidess. You can tell by just her motions and how she talks. She is well bred. And comes from a very upper class family of sea folk. And again, lots of looks. And everyone. You can see there's a mix between the normal sea folk and then there's guards out there as well that kind of just eye and watch what you're doing. She's taking you up...
Wait. Very important. Notice that he looks... I absolutely...
What's that?
I have to get in front of Felix. Felix can't be first.
So you think. The cat's trying.
What do you think? What do you think this looks like, cat?
Felix being Felix. Let's see. Where's that thing?
It's
there?
as it should be. What do you think it looks? What else do you think would it look like?
Watch it, kitty. Watch it.
All right. So I'm gonna put this here. So then you guys.
Unfortunately, this damp is ruining the full glory of my tail.
She
That's
sneaks.
why people are staring. It's disappointment. They're going quiet and disappointment and not being able to experience the full glory of my tail.
Yes, that is exactly what everyone's thinking. Is that oh no, we can't. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That is exactly what they're thinking.
You can tell even from the back, Starless's head is just darting around, taking in everything.
I actually feel more sorry for them than I feel for myself being wet.
So you guys come out into an area, and she goes, "Oh yes, we're going to pass the oracles, but we'll come back if we need to later on," which perks all of you up on the saying of oracle. Mm-hmm. She goes, "That building there, down there. So that large building you see between the 3 veins with the 8 pillars.
Something to eat?
Yeah, grab some rolls. That one there." She points out, "Oh yes, that's the oracle's place in the center, because that's he leads us," is all she says, and kind of moves on from that. Let's see what else we got. There's all kinds of sites. Yes, Minchkin, go ahead and take them out of there. You should be fine. All right, let's see where her family is down this way. So, she takes you down and through this area, down to here. You guys are moving through. There is some rubble. Like, you do see some homes that have gone to rubble in some places. Kind of like where you guys are right now as I'm moving everybody down there. All right.
Just dropped again.
No, don't drop. Come back.
I shall when I can.
Missing parts. I love Fantasy Grounds. Alright, let's see. That is this one here. So this one here, I'm going to put the B on.
Do we get the sense that this is like an ancient civilization that's grown?
Yes, you get the feeling this has been around. By knowing you're being underwater in the past, you know this city by what's growing on there, and got to go up front for a few moments. You get the feeling this is probably a couple thousand, maybe, year old city. Just because of the... Yeah. She leads you down to a very, very, very elegant looking place. Past some other ones. You guys go past some things here, and some of these buildings are huge. You can tell this is the nicer part of town. Because in the other area, a lot of buildings crushed together, not in this area of the world. Including that very large dome place off behind it that you can see. This is the upper class area that you are in. And you get many more looks. There aren't as many people here, but they are dressed in beautiful attire, wearing all kinds of underwater corals and jewels and gold and silver. This area itself is upper class land. And she goes, "Oh, come, you must meet Mother." And I will
These are my people.
You're loving this already. It is an elegant coral home in a very nice district. The elegant home itself rises up at least 4 stories, and it has 2 parts to it, with an area that goes between it. She takes you inside, which then I'm just going to keep Markale's token and move everybody off to the side here for the moment. Sorry. Yeah, she would. I mean, honestly, the fashions down here, they wear different types of living flowers that are under here, as well as the clothing itself. You kind of wonder what materials they use to make it. All right, so you go inside, and inside is... Let's move this over here real quick. I'm going to try to shrink this down in my area so I got a little less things to work with there. There we go. Yay. All right. Yeah, I mean, you could. They're very flowing and very regal looking. Let's see. That's Anamora. All right. The woman you see that she takes you in to see Drecissa is this woman right here. You're guessing that is her mother. She is an elegant merfolk woman with brown skin and flowing green hair glides across the room. Scales from her of gold have been affixed to her teal green tail in a pleasingly random pattern, and she wears a loose top knot of small interlocking scaled or jeweled scales. She says, "Welcome to my home, surface dwellers and water dweller." Her
Markel
voice...
is happy to find another under the sea brown-skinned goddess. So she's all prim and proper, and she's looking, you know, I don't know. she's beside herself right now.
Yes, she is glowing. She goes, and Drecissa starts in, Mother, the surface dwellers and this other wonderful woman, Markel, ended up saving my life from the Shahagan, and they were going to corner me and eat me, but they came in and helped. I fought beside them, but they were so magnificent, Mother. You should have seen them. They were true heroes. True heroes. She goes, the horned one over there, pointing to Syl. She goes, she was amazing with how many just lightning fast blows she could do. And the little one there, pointing down to Chunk, he with his spear was unbelievable. And it was just such a battle. Oh, Mother, they were so amazing. She goes, truly. Well, she goes, you have saved my daughter, and that is no small thing. My family is the most priceless treasure to me, you see. And no reward I could offer you would truly cover my gratitude. But I will hope that you can accept this small token of my gratitude. She shuffles over to a cabinet of just some beautiful different types of treasures. And she picks out this jeweled box. And she takes it off the shelf itself and brings it over. And she goes, and she turns to Markel. She goes, obviously you are leading them down here, my lovely. And she hands it to her in a very, grace-filled, flowing manner.
Aurora, who basically Markel's sister, knows that she's internally making a extremely happy, hype noise, but externally, Markel takes the jewel box, she bows. Thank you, Grace. It was but an honor to save the lovely example of the Murph and to save the seas from evil.
Well, she goes, it is no small thing. My family means the world to me. And so anything I can do beyond this to help you in your stay here. She goes, where are you staying, in fact, here? Have you figured out a place yet?
No. We were brought here just now after the battle. Yes, as Charlie says, we've just arrived.
Well, She goes, we can't have you not staying somewhere. That would be most discourteous. She turns and says, Cassius, and you see this male, just specimen of merfolk flow in. Big muscles, rippled, cut. Wearing some very nice...
That's my new boyfriend.
nice jewels and other fineries. He goes, yes, mother. Please make up the rooms for them. They will stay here. Unless you're disposed to do otherwise. Please, be my guests while you are here.
Kale is staring at that guy. Oh, no.
She goes, did you? She goes, you are interesting. What sort of folk are you? She says, looking at Shara. I know you're a surface dweller, but I have not seen your kind before. Please don't take offense in it. She goes, you intrigue me as surface dwellers.
Why do I hear whining?
I'm talking to Simo because he's trying to sit on my keyboard.
She goes, she comes over and she basically touches your arm and she goes, your skin is gorgeous. She goes, for a surface dweller, she goes, I love the coloration. Ooh, and then she turns and looks at Felix and goes, oh, you are fascinating.
It's true.
She goes...
the better you get to know me, the more fascinating I become.
He goes, she goes, your coloration, and she goes, is this hair on you all the way across your body?
It's considered normal where I come from.
Oh, she goes, lovely, just lovely coloration. And then she swings around. She goes, oh, a little one. She goes, you are a half hand, half.
Pretty much half everything. Yeah.
Oh, okay. She goes, and you are.
That's what they call me, right?
Okay, and you're the one that she says is so good with the spear. Well, I am honored to have you among.
I'm not going to touch that straight line. My own pole.
Oh, and then she looks at Aurora and she goes, my dear, your skin is much paler than the rest.
I spend less time in the sun, dear.
Ah, I understand. She goes, I dwell down here, so, I do not get much sun, though I do get up once in a while to see the sun. And she goes, to Syl, she goes, wow, such teeth and horns. She goes, that is amazing. I bet they are deadly in battle.
She didn't say anything.
She looks and goes, fascinating.
Just kind of glances over at a moment and then glances away.
And then she goes over to Lyra and she goes, your ears, they're almost like aquatic elves, but they're not. So you are somewhat elf. And Lyra goes, yes, I am part elf. Aha, surface-dwelling elf, I take it, because you do not have the colorations of ours. She goes, you are an interesting group. Well, let me get the rooms made up for you. She goes, you must be famished. I will have the servants prepare dinner immediately. While you...
Markale has drifted closer to the very attractive son, and she's kind of like... flirting, making eyes. She's forgotten everything else.
All right, do your roll. Do your roll. Parked on the curve, idling.
Do you want? Oh, what's the roll for flirting?
You could either use a bluff or you could use a diplomacy, whichever way. Depends on what type of flirting you're doing. If you are complimenting him and doing things and trying to puff up his ego, then bluff. If it's more just telling him factual things he would know, Diplomacy. No, there's not a roll for foolishness. Otherwise, oh yeah, your aquatic elf would have loved this city, Shara, or Akeisha. She would have loved it.
Markale is like, my
Yes, you can do a basic
Tina.
charisma.
My Tina, man, is amazing. Brilliant you. You are truly a remarkable specimen.
Whoa!
Shit.
The first natural 20 of the day. And he puffs up a little and he goes, really? He goes, well, you're...
Guys, I can't even flirt in real life. This is amazing.
he goes, he looks at you and he goes, and you are a vision yourself. He goes, how come you to be an adventurer over more just one that runs an adventuring company?
I just want to throw it out there. I can literally feel Max's eyes rolling in the back of his head.
Oh, God, yes. These would be the kind of roles that Painman does on a normal basis. So for this...
Oh, my God, it's true. Markale kind of, tosses her hair in the waves. Well, I come from very petite. As the youngest, I wanted to make my way, and certainly you are the greatest treasure that I have seen.
Well, he goes, that is very impressive. One that strikes out on her own to do and show instead of just going with her family's honors and things. That shows much maturity.
Oh, yes, I am the most mature of my family. But it takes a certain level of maturity to keep this rowdy group of adventurers in line.
Well, he says, you'll have to tell me more at dinner about where you're from originally in your family. I would like to know more. Hairball coming up.
You are not blocking me right now, Cat.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong one. I grabbed Anamora, but her mother is a different one. Ooh. Did I mix them up? I did. Alright, so. Oops. Let's see. Drecissa's home.
You crossed your fish.
That's Anamora. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's Anamora. The other one is... Oh, yeah. Okay, no problem. So we're on target. Yeah, meow. Yeah. Anamora says, would you like air to be provided in your rooms? That way, then, you'll have a barrier of air that you can retreat into and not have to breathe the waters down here. I know it must be tedious. It would be like me breathing your air above water.
That would be comfortable.
Oh, of course. She tells two of the servants that have wands to go and do that, and you can see them disappear. She goes, we'll make it so. And can I help with anything? She goes, it must be so new for you to be down here, being surface folk. In fact, where are you from originally? She goes, are you from the area up here anywhere? I find it interesting that you found us so easily down here.
I wouldn't exactly have called it easy. We were kind of directed or pointed in this direction, so...
Really? And then she turns and looks, and who has the Sea Elves, or the Mordant Spire Elves, dolphin?
Who took the dolphin? Yeah.
Who did?
I don't
Tuna
know.
manufacturers.
Of the dolphin? Or of the elf that you guys talked to?
Felix
I don't
sighs
know.
melodramatically. We are a desert people.
Yes. Interesting.
I can sing you the songs of our caravan.
Markale stops flirting with the sun and she just slowly turns to Felix with her eyes wide.
Yes, this was the Mordant Spire elf that you guys met.
Singing the songs of the Desert Caravan.
Yeah, Rick, if I remember correctly, I think maybe Aurora has that pin in particular.
Yes,
the
maybe.
dolphin pin.
Okay, so she stops and looks at Aurora and she goes, "Who gave that to you?" She goes,
Insert name here.
Ah. She goes, Niran did. He is an interesting elf from the Morden Spire. That would have mean that you would have had to really work hard. Because they are not the most outgoing folk. They work with a purpose, she says. Kind of like we all do in this city. She goes...
They did seem... He made it seem like they had a very singular focused purpose.
Yes, yes. Interesting. So where did you meet Nerian? She says. This story I must hear. And she gives you... She basically has you guys the food... She has an appetizer already out to you guys. She takes you to a very beautiful coral wrought table with
nice.
some chairs that are made of stone, but they have some comfort with the sea type of plants that are put on them. That almost feels like sitting on a very well cushioned seat.
Aurora begins to relay the story of the aboleth and the temple and the freeing of the prisoners that were there, both from the first colony and the second colony, and some of the extras that were there, including Niran, and just begins to kind of weave that tale. Partway through, she stops, looks at Markale, and says, "Why am I the one telling the story? You're always so much better at this than I am."
It's because Markale is looking into the deep, limpid pools of purple that are the eyes of Cassiax.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes.
But still, Aurora's asking, like, she knows that she knows Markale's not going to respond to the question, but she's kind of saying it, like, halfway to the side under her breath, like, why am I the one telling this story? Why aren't you talking? Oh, right. You're busy.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yes.
And so Aurora, continues the story until the kind of weaves the tale of the story as best as she can.
She asks lots of questions to get the details. So she goes, "So, there was an aboleth in these waters." She goes, "Why does that not surprise me? They are the bane of existence." She goes,
I definitely agree and think all of us agree with that statement.
Mm-hmm.
Evil fish must die.
She goes, Shahagan...
I'm the bane of their existence, says Felix.
She goes, "Well, that is good, because anyone who hates them is a friend of ours. We have seen many innocent merfolk and gillfolk turned and twisted to their ways." She goes, "That is significant, and what you did made you heroes, and I will make sure that you are treated as such by my fellow people here in Talasantri." She goes, "Not only are you a hero against the Shahagan who tried to kill my daughter, but you are also heroes in the fact that you eliminated something of major power." She goes, "So what brings you truly to our city?" Oh, she goes, I believe you, Shara." She goes, "I have no doubt in this. And the fact that this thing tried to hurt your love," looking over at Lyra, she goes, "that is unacceptable at the highest of levels. Again, family." And then she looks to you again, because was it Chunk or Aurora that was going to talk?
Aurora was the one that was
Okay,
starting to talk.
so she says, "I'm sorry, Aurora. I did not mean to interrupt you."
Quite okay. Aurora says, "Well, I do not know what everyone else has necessarily come for, but I have a dual purpose for being here. Number one, I would like to open up trade relations between your fine city and the growing population of Talmander's Bounty.
Interesting.
And believe that there could be some long-term benefits to be had both in the sharing and in growth of trade, but also in being able to keep one another informed about such things such as Abolus or other type evil creatures that may be lurking within the murky depths or even possibly on land, so that we can formulate more coordinated responses as necessary.
Okay. So do me a favor. Make a diplomacy check as you speak with her on this. Not saying it'll go great, but it may help in advancing. Then again, it may turn things another direction. You never know. And anyone with diplomacy can aid.
My skills are all jacked up, so I have no idea what the actual role should be for this.
They are what they are.
Does anyone want to try to get Markel's attention?
I'll try and help here in a sec. Let me.
Gregorio is poking you with a card under the table. Markel, listen.
Rick, I don't know what happened, but for some reason my character sheet is coming up to almost completely blank. Like it didn't fully load for some reason.
It should have.
A little weird.
Hmm.
Dang it.
Well,
You need to pull your tail out of your mouth and try again.
yeah. He's like, she didn't.
That horrible noise you were making.
She didn't even hear you while looking over at Aurora on that one.
Markel, she gets what? Oh, yes.
Oh! We go extremes! Oh my god, we go. She's got a plus 12. It's the only reason. She goes, darling, I understand. I'm listening to Aurora. You'll have to wait a minute. I'm sorry. She goes, I don't mean to be rude to you. At least you guys have got her in a good way to where she doesn't.
Markel, just goes back to Cassius.
Yep.
Rick, what bonus do you want me to roll this at? Because I'm looking at the skills list and there's no skill diplomacy, and it should be there.
Oh, it's there. It's your bonus will be your plus 4, but add another plus 2 because Starlissa was able to throw. Because she's favorable and friendly to you, a 13 will add. Perfect. She goes, well, that may be a possibility. Let's continue our friendship in the time you are here, and if I see that you are as genuine as so far you have proven yourself to be, I would be glad to see what we
Felix
can do.
Is going to bring up that
Hey, Aurora's not done. She said she had dual purpose. Chill.
Oh.
He's chasing his tail around the table. You can get
Felix can bring it up, and maybe Felix shouldn't bring it up for himself, but poke Aurora and be like, "Hey, can you bring this up?" He's clearly not going to win anybody over with that roll.
Whee!
So Aurora also says, secondly, I am curious, who is your primary, who is the primary god that your city worships, or temples that you guys have constructed here in the city?
She goes, you see the temple of Shaylin that's down the way from us. Shaylin is the goddess that, wow, Keisha, I don't know what you're trying to do, but your rule set did not like you at all on that one.
You know what? I got a unlock changed error when I first logged in.
I got the same error, and it's been
everyone.
and it's been a constant. Anytime I've had to reconnect, it pops it back up.
Yeah, just we'll kind of keep that in there. I'll take a picture. Hang on here. Of it. I'll grab my iPad. That way I can send it in to them and see if they'll give me any time of day, because working on the new one, you never know. They may just...
And Rick, if you want, I can also copy from my clipboard the current list of about 50 some odd errors. Some of them are fatal errors and some of them are just warnings.
Yeah, this doesn't look like a fatal. This just looks like a script error is all on this one.
Oh, but, yeah, well, okay. It's red.
But still.
But it isn't.
Yeah, maybe. So you were starting to go. She goes, well, she says Shaylin, of course.
Can I roll a religion check for which I still, because again, I can't see any of my bonuses to skills.
Sure.
Can you tell me what that should be?
Your religion here.
It should be a 3
5.
now.
It's a 5.
Was Aurora there when Markel had the when she prayed to Shellen for that one attack. Maybe Aurora wasn't there. Maybe she was
You were, I think. You know who Shellen is. I mean, she's the goddess of artistry. Well, I'm saying if you've been around Markale, it's the goddess of beauty and artistry.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, she's very
I
straight.
was more. I'm trying to.
And love.
Yeah, I'm
yes.
trying to more or less find out, is that someone who would be adjacent to, in a way, to Pharasma, someone who
they are
get along with.
Yes, they get along. They're not enemies.
Okay.
Her brother is Zan Kuthan, who is the basically Call of Cthulhu like deity who has spikes and piercings coming out of his skin and chain. He went psycho. He was fine. He was a younger brother. Then he went out on a quest to the outer veil of things and came back disturbed. Ended up killing their father and then fighting. That's why Shaylin has the weapon she has. That's his weapon.
It's like when your little brother goes, out, gets in with the wrong group of kids, and then comes back and all the family.
Why does that sound like a personal experience type of story there, Adressia?
Oh, it's not my personal. I have friends.
Yeah, it's been sketchy today. Actually, mine's been perfect today. I don't know. And again, knocking on wood here. But I don't know.
So Rick, Aurora lets her finish, and then kind of as she's winding down, talking about Shaylin, and that, Aurora also says, it would be very helpful for me for any other trips down here that we may make, if I could have a set aside location with which I could pray to my deity of Pharasma.
Oh, Pharasma, she's known here. She has a small temple. Of course. She is the goddess of birth and prophecy and life. Of course. She is here. In fact, she goes, we have a Pharasman priest that is in the area. She goes out.
I would love a chance to sit and discuss some things with him privately.
Sure. Absolutely. She goes, Pharasmart.
Pharasmart.
Sorry, I'm on today.
Oh, you're on a roll today.
That's
pretty good.
Yeah.
Instead of by and large and the others, we have Pharasmart. All right. She goes, okay, so that is your main purpose as a group for being here?
No. And then Aurora kind of motions for the cat to stand up and talk, because he had clearly something he wanted to say as well as others.
Yes, cat. I just want to add that in addition to trade with the colony here, I'm tasked with opening up new trade routes for my home. My faraway cat folk home and general exploration area. So access to any maps and information you have and trade agreements with my home would be most appreciated.
Be my guest, Max. Do your diplomacy to see how you come across to her. Because even if you don't have as a skill, it looks like you still got a plus
Max,
6.
Add a +1 because Aurora's going to cast guidance on you too, because you probably could use it.
Wiggly, wiggly, wiggly. So
I
+7.
have good diplomacy, so there.
Well, you got a +7 instead of a +6, so ha.
Yeah.
And since I can cast it anytime I want, haha.
Yeah.
She goes, interesting. She goes,
I didn't mean to sound ungrateful.
It just happens naturally.
Isn't that a cat, though, in a nutshell?
Cat.
Pretty
It
much.
just happens naturally, right?
Sorry,
I don't mean to be ungrateful.
No
I
problem.
just am. I'm a cat.
She looks at you and she goes, I will talk with my husband in that. You are an interesting creature. And she goes, yes, I would be interested to see what your people could bring us. Might be. She goes, normally we haven't traded with the surface just because, well, you know how that is sometimes. The surfacers aren't too kind to our people. Often they do things that are unthinking. But, she goes, you have renewed my faith that there is hope that there can be trade with the surface. So, yes, I will take that definitely into account and talk with my husband on that.
Well, and he also wants like access to the library.
She goes, that will take time, but yes, I think we could do that. She goes, again, once I've seen that, your time here is well spent, then absolutely. She goes, anyone else with anything else? And of course, Starlissa's got her hand in the air. She goes, yes. Oh, God, your hair's so pretty, little one.
Rick, before Starlissa dives in, Aurora is going to also add to the conversation that was happening between her and Felix, that if there is anything we can do to help improve relations with, as you call them, surface dwellers, those that we are able to help influence, we would be more than happy to assist in that. We understand. I can tell you, especially myself, and she kind of glances over at Felix. We have duly been prejudiced against for how we look and who we are as well. And you can see her almost like kind of when she says it, like there's kind of this like self-realization that also happens as she's saying that it was kind of meant a little bit bluffy, but then she's starting to realize, no, wait, that actually is really true about myself.
Yeah, it would be true.
So Anamora seems to think for a second. Then she looks over at Chunk and she goes, "You look fidgety, Chunk. What is bothering you or is on your mind?"
Mark, of course, just went AFK real quick.
Yay. Alrighty then. So
Aurora looks at Syl, kind of knowing the answer to this question, and says, Syl, was there anything that you came specifically to?
No.
I didn't think so. Continues on. Looks over at Shara and says, Shara, is there anything that you in particular were interested in securing or finding out or looking for here in Talasantri?
Dun, dun, dun.
And then, of course, Aurora looks over at Markale and kind of like half kicks her in the shin. And of course, you as well, Markale, I'm assuming you have some purpose other than flirting with the males of the city.
Hey, you said plural males, and so far, it's only been
We've only been here for like an hour.
Okay, well, that's true, but...
There is mild chuckling from both Cassius and from his mother. and even even your fine sister, she's kind of Drecissa's going, oh, yes. She goes, my Markale, you're a woman after my own heart. She goes, there are too many handsome males and females in this city to not note.
Oh, yes. I, for one, a entrepreneur and leader of the village that we came from, would like to make the proclamation that you are absolutely welcome in Talmendor's bounty, and let us work together to uplift the Murph to new heights.
She goes,
Join together.
She goes, that is one thing we've discussed and would be on the table, definitely. She goes, my son, she goes, you flirt too much. He goes, mother. She just smiles.
He's not the only one, dear. He's not the only one. Aurora turns to Chunk and says, she did ask if there was something that was on your mind.
She goes,
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, go ahead.
She turns to Shar and goes, my dear, we can help you with that any way you need. She goes, I could go to several of the vendors here because on the rare occasion we do get surface dwellers. She goes, we can get easily potions of water breathing for you. Just let me know how many you need and what your budget is, and we can work with that very easily. or any other items that you may need. She goes, even if you have items of value that you bring here, our colony values many things. And maybe you'll bring some things that we do not have that would be of value to these vendors and purveyors, that we could do a trade or sale if you need the capital.
Aurora does pull out the crossbow of the crab, I think it is, that she has, and she says, actually, I would be interested in a potential trade, but I would prefer the others to have their say first. And looking at not Chunk, but looking at Starlissa, who was beginning to kind of want to speak up.
Yes.
To give her an opportunity to talk about what she wanted to talk about.
She goes, I just want to survey the city and the wonders here. She goes, there must be so many antiquities in this city that are worth looking at. Oh, she goes, oh, my dear. She goes, this city has been around so many years. Yes, of course. Once we get settled in here and each of you have your needs met of why you came, absolutely. She goes, I will make sure that one of my servants takes you to wherever you want to go in the city and talks to the proprietor about this. No problems. No problems. You were saying the apparatus. Let's see here.
No, the crossbow of the crab.
Crossbow of the crab.
The
That's
crossbow.
right. Crossbow of the crab. Let me look here. Not in that book. Okay, so I will just have to pull it up from here. All right. There. Crossbow of the crab. There it is. So you're looking to sell this then?
Yes, and she also pulls out the +1 chainmail from her from her bag, and she says, "I actually would be interested in selling this as well."
She said, "I could get you 3,800 for the pair, if you'd like, minus some slight fees for me doing the transactions."
And she says, "I would be interested in trade. I'm not specifically looking for gold or coin back, but instead would be interested in trade for perhaps some sort of dagger that would be."
You go get me the phone? Hang on real quick. I think Kim's calling in. Why don't we do this? Break for lunch, and that way we can get everything up and working, and then come back at about 12:40.
Can I play on the PlayStation
Sounds
now?
good.
All right, thanks.
Alrighty.
Can I play on the PlayStation now?
Hey, hon. How are you?